Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you'll have an enjoyable Shabbos. This week's Erev Shabbos video, Dvar Torah, is sponsored by Joyce Wertheimer in memory of her mother, Beverly Nachumson, Zichrona Livracha, whose yahrzeit is being observed today on the 16th of Cheshvan. Her neshama should have an aliyah, and we thank Joyce for the sponsorship. In addition, every Erev Shabbos video, Dvar Torah, we take a moment to focus and daven on behalf of Israel. Everyone in Israel, the entire country and land, and especially davening for the return of every last murdered hostage for proper burial in the land of Israel. This week's parsha is VaYeira, which literally means, and he appeared. Hashem, referring to Hashem, appeared to Abraham. And the concept of appearing or vision or seeing is a theme that goes through the entire parsha. There are so many different fascinating stories in the parsha. And if you follow along during laning or reading the parsha, you'll see that the idea of seeing or not seeing is a theme that goes through each of these stories. And it begins with the opening scene. VaYeira Elav Hashem, and then the Torah describes Vayisa Einav Vayar. Abraham, who was sitting outside of his tent, lifted his eyes and he saw V'nei Shlosha Anashim. He said, "You love three men standing at a little bit of a distance." Vayar, and he saw. Vayar Slikrasam, and he runs to greet them. He invites them into their tent for food and for rest. And this word vayar repeats itself. The second time, it is not clear what it is additionally referring to. And in fact, Rashi already comments, Vayar, Vayar. He saw, he saw. Why does it say it twice? Shnei pamim. Harishon kamashmo. The first means literally, he saw these three individuals with his eyes. V'hasheni lashon havana. And the second is an expression of understanding, discernment. He saw, he understood something. He noticed there were three men standing at a distance. They were a bit awkward. They seemed out of place. And he realized, oh, those people probably need help. They did not ask for him, but Avraham understood it on his own. He saw the need. He could see what others were thinking about or experiencing. Someone just this week reached out to me very thoughtfully and said, I noticed that a certain person has not been in shul. Is everything okay with them? Is there anything I can do to help? They noticed something there. They even saw the absence, someone missing. We may notice something about someone. We may notice a new person, just like Avram. We see someone in shul. They are new. Sometimes they look obviously out of place or with questions, but sometimes it is a little bit more subtle, and you have to proactively see it and notice it. The lesson is that chesed begins, or even a higher level of chesed is not just to do, but is to see, is to notice, is to understand, is to try to imagine and see what it is like for the other person through their eyes. Of course, if we're asked to help someone to do something kind, we will respond. But the greatness of Avraham is that even when he was not asked, even when the need was not obvious, he saw how someone else was in need and he saw how he could help. And this is in contrast to Hagar. The Torah tells a story how Hagar and her son Yishmael were thrown out of Avram and Sarah's tent, out of their family, and they are traveling in the desert and they run out of water. And Yishmael, it seems that he is going to die. And his mother, Hagar, who loves him dearly, the Torah says, throws him off to the side. Why? Ki amra, for she said, Al ereh bimos hayeled. I can't bear to see the death of the child. And on the one hand, we understand the pain of the mother. There's some things that are extremely hard to see. But ultimately, this was a sin. It was an error. It was incredibly cruel that Yishmael, who according to Chazal was already a teenager at this point, would die alone because she couldn't see it. Sometimes it is hard to see the needs of others. If someone is truly suffering, if someone is really down and out of their luck, it can be difficult. It can make us uncomfortable. It can make us feel bad that we're not doing more. And so we avert our eyes. We just don't want to look. We're not saying no to the need. We're just not seeing it. We're not allowing ourselves to see it. Later in the Torah warns if you see someone in need, you see an animal can't bear its burden, v'lo suchal lehi salem. Do not avert your eyes. Do not pretend you don't see it. Do not actually not look at it. The Torah stresses that a person first has to see. You can't help if you don't see the other person. And sometimes, even if you won't be able to do anything, but just looking, trying to understand their perspective, trying to understand them, that itself is a chesed. And so we strive, as always, to emulate Abraham. VaYeira. We all want to be like Abraham, to be doers of chesed, but also the lesson of the beginning of this parsha and throughout the entire parsha is the importance of seeing, of having open eyes, especially for the needs of others, even if they do not ask, even if it does not present itself obviously. But we should have the insight, the intelligence, the social intelligence to be able to see when others need us, to be able to see where we can help. And once we see, we can do. And that is the lesson of Abraham, to not just have holy hands of kindness, but holy eyes of kindness. It all begins with what we see. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.